Welcome back to Slip Joint Display. Today we are looking at a Great Eastern Cutlery 78 in black canvas micarta. This is knife number, well, it's knife number 782117. 782117. Let's get into the model. So this is a recent acquisition from the secondary market. There was a fellow on Instagram who put a bunch of stuff up for sale, and a handful of us jumped in on what he had up. This was the one that I grabbed. This was an SFO from Grand Prairie Knives, and in looking this up, I kept seeing that it was a release from Grand Prairie Knives. It came out in 2017, and in thinking about it, I kept asking myself, Grand Prairie Knives, and I thought, you know, that retailer, I never hear of them anymore. It took me a minute to realize that's GP Knives. I don't know where my head was at during all that. So this came up on the secondary. This is the tube that was sent with it. I'm all but positive. You know, I came down to my table, wanted to clean the knife up and sharpen it, took it out of the tube, set the tube aside. And when I went to do this review, I grabbed the tube and realized no sticker. Also, this is the wrong tube. The actual release from GP Knives notes that it's an SFO in this area, and this doesn't have that on there. I'm all but positive that this is the tube that came with it. I don't remember having a 78 tube where I didn't have a marker on it. That's okay. I don't mind that. I don't know if the guy did it on purpose or just grabbed the wrong tube, but whatever. It is what it is. So, as far as the knife is concerned, like I said, this was a release from GP Knives in 2017 when the American Jacks came out. The material that this is in is a black canvas micarta. The numbers on these were fairly low. There was only 99 made. And when I got this, it was very well used. I mean, 100%. Heavy patina. The micarta was fairly dirty. I mean, dirty from carry, nothing crazy. So I wanted to clean the knife up and give it a good starting point for myself. I haven't carried this yet. Sometimes when I get stuff, and I know I'm going to review it, I think to myself, let's get the video done before we put it in the pocket. And this is a good example of that. So I removed the patina off the blade. I flushed the pivot, which didn't have much to it. I mean, this was a well-carried, well-used knife. Really wasn't a whole lot going on in that pivot. I wanted to clean the micarta up because it was very dark. I mean, you can see this is, again, this is a canvas micarta, so you've got these little light sections in there, and all that was gone. As far as cleaning micarta is concerned, the way that I went about it was, and this is what I've seen others do, you can use soap and water. I tend to try to keep soap and water away from carbon steel blades with pivots that I can't fully access. So these little alcohol pads, easy way to go about this is just take your alcohol pad and scrub that micarta. You see it darkens up. And of course you can dry it, and that removes the dirt and oils that are in the micarta. You see it lightens it up. The alcohol dries fast. You don't have a concern with rust and all that. So that's one way you can go about cleaning micarta. The knife sharpened well. I'm pretty happy with where the blade finishes at. This is it says Titiute, right? So nail nick, satin blade. I didn't want to bring the blade up too polished. You know, I removed the patina that was there. It's still, you can tell it's still got some age on it, and I'm fine with that. As far as the rest of the knife, spear shield, not to be confused with a houndstooth. This is the Boss from Boss Steel Blades. That's a houndstooth shield. This is a spear. The spear is nickel silver. Bolsters are nickel silver. Brushed nickel silver. Noted that on GP Knives website. This is a nice configuration. The main thing I was concerned with this was the action. The action is good. Strike down the middle. I can dig all that. So yeah, this was nice. This wasn't even on my radar. I wasn't looking to get it. I didn't have a concern with it. But when I saw it, I jumped on it just because it was a single blade 78 from 2017. I mean, how can you pass that up? The price wasn't outrageous or anything. Easy transaction with the seller. Everything went good with all that. I can dig the micarta. I like micarta. I don't have a ton of it on traditionals, but I can dig it. As far as the micarta is concerned, micarta is a material that was invented by a fellow named Charles Westinghouse in 1910. He originally called it resinite and, quickly changed the name to micarta. I guess historically, what you read about historically is that there's paper micarta, linen micarta, and canvas micarta. At this point, I think there's other options with it, stuff we see currently today. As far as the difference between, say, a canvas micarta and a linen micarta, so this 88 is an example of linen micarta. You can see the difference there. Linen micarta is said to have a finer finish on it. The 71 is another example of linen micarta. Specifically, this 71, not all. This is knife number 715117, right? So, I mean, if you look that up, this is a linen micarta. Some of these bullnoses are Delrin. I've seen others in canvas micarta, but this one in particular I looked up and it is linen. But it does seem to have a different finish on it. I mean, looking at it, it almost, maybe just because it's flat, I mean, you can kind of see some of the pattern when you turn it to the side and there. Kind of like you see on this where the whole handle's rounded. At any rate, canvas micarta is said to be grippier. Micarta is a really strong material. It's layers of material in resin, put in resin and put to heat and sandwiched together. It does pick up oils and dirt. It will. I mean, almost in moderns, in knives like Spyderco's, it almost seems to patina. You can tell, whereas something like G10s tends to stay cleaner, micarta picks up use. You can see the use on it. So it's interesting for that factor. This is an old piece. It's interesting. Like I said, I wasn't hunting this. I didn't expect it to come up. I just moved on it when I saw it come up. But I do like single blade 78s. I mean, what's not to like about them? Nice nail nick. Drawn swedge there. The shield. Little bit of gapping around the shield, but whatever. I'm not going to complain about it. Let's have a look around. Pretty sure we've done this before, but so just under 3-inch blade, say 2 3/4 cutting. And what's our handle length? 3 3/4, something like that. Let's see how they did with the gaps. A little bit in there. See if we can see it from the outside. Maybe a little bit, nothing significant. Almost flush at half. So standard stuff. I like the profile on this. This guy's really interesting. I don't mind that it's a user. The pins look good. This micarta will darken with use. But I dig the look of it. I mean, I prefer this to, say, the look of this linen. How you've almost got, I mean, it almost looks like a wood grain. And I don't mind this, but I do prefer the canvas with the texture on it. It is grippier than the linen micarta. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this in the pocket and carrying it, setting a new patina on it, you know. And like I said, I wanted to clean it up and give it a good starting point in my carry. You know, put my own edge on it, put my own patina on it. Let me be the one who, you know, puts new wear on that micarta. I wanted to bring it out. I wanted to show it to you folks today. Let me know what you think as far as micarta is concerned. Do you have anything in it? Do you not? Have you ever had to clean it before? This, I think this was my first time cleaning it. And again, you could go the route of soap and water. For me, I thought that the alcohol pads was an easier way to go. How do you go about it? What's your experience? Get down in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next video.